I'm Derek, 32, and this Thanksgiving, my sister threw a plate at me because I wouldn't let her and her triplets move into my home, and my mother told me to stop calling her Mom. I just smiled, walked outside, and called my lawyer. Everything is just as you said. Activate the plan. Thanksgiving in our family is a lot like a business meeting with bad lighting. Paper plates, folding chairs, and passive-aggressive dialogue served with cranberry sauce. This year, it escalated from awkward to absurd the second my sister Carla, 29, single mom of triplets, leaned across the table and declared, "We're moving in Sunday." She didn't ask. She informed. And in our family, that's how things work. Carla speaks, Mom backs her, and I, the oldest, the quiet fixer, am expected to rearrange my life like it's a dinner table no one asked me to set. "No," I said calmly, stabbing my turkey with a fork. "My house isn't baby-proofed. The office is where I work. I can't do this again." Carla blinked. "You live alone in a 2-bedroom. We're drowning, and you're hoarding space." Mom chimed in like a prosecuting attorney. "Don't call me your mom if you're going to act like a stranger." Then came the plate. Stuffing, gravy, cranberry streaks, the whole thing, exploded on the wall beside me. Carla was screaming about ego and selfishness while the triplets banged spoons like war drums. Dad reached for the remote like maybe he could mute the family. I wiped gravy from my sleeve, stood up, walked outside onto the porch, and dialed my lawyer now. "Everything is just as you said. Activate the plan. 20 minutes, she said. Smile. Eat dinner. Leave on time." That's when I noticed the baby monitor. I had set it up to keep the kids from wandering into the stove. But it was still recording, pointed right at the kitchen. Public space. Blinking red light. Fully legal. Inside, Carla shouted, "He's calling a lawyer on us." Technically, yes. Emotionally? I was calling a ceasefire with rules. 20 minutes later, every phone in the living room pinged with an alert. No one checked. But I smiled. Because sometimes, justice arrives in 1080p HD and gets automatically backed up to the cloud. The first domino didn't fall with a bang. It landed in silence, courtesy of a baby monitor with cloud sync and a TV that hadn't been turned off. Dad had cast the feed from the monitor to the living room TV earlier so everyone could keep an eye on the boys. Then he forgot. So when the recording hit the cloud and the system auto-pinged a new saved clip, the TV flashed the thumbnail. Big and bright. New clip saved, 12:41 p.m. to 1:09 p.m. Then came the audio. Carla's voice, laughing, from just an hour earlier. "If Derek says no, we'll just move in anyway. He melts when the boys cry." Mom's voice. "Worst case, change his locks while he's at work. Like last time." My Aunt Teresa made a choked noise. Uncle Joe stared at the carpet like it had betrayed him. Carla lunged for the remote, but Dad, bless his trembling hands, got there first. Instead of turning it off, he turned it up. On screen, Carla again. I already used his card once. He didn't even notice. Mom's voice. "Delete the alerts. He doesn't check." Then came the second wave. Phones started buzzing, text alerts. Na had just emailed me, and I'd approved it ahead of time. She compiled a PDF, screenshots of texts, voice memos, receipts, all annotated and timestamped. Every passive-aggressive guilt trip, every message where I'd offered help and was met with mockery. The file had a title. Operation Guilt, 1 year of receipts. Aunt Teresa gasped. Cousin Luke went pale. Carla turned on me like I'd released a virus. "You set us up!" I calmly reached for a napkin. "I brought pie." Mom's voice snapped from the other end of the table, brittle and sharp. "You're making this bigger than it is." I met her eyes. "No, I'm making it accurate. I think stealing someone's identity to get an auto loan is big. I think planning to change my locks is big. I think fraud is huge." You could hear a pea roll across the floor, it was so quiet. Then I did the unforgivable. I slid my phone across the table and read out loud. "In the last 12 months, I've paid $1,286 in apartment emergencies for you, $1,190 in delivery food to your address, $679 in subscriptions I didn't authorize, 2 ER copays, 3 Uber rides, and a stroller that costs more than my mattress." Carla stood, jaw trembling. "We're moving in Sunday. Try and stop me." I stood too. "You won't get in." She laughed. "We still have a key." I looked at Mom. "Do you?" She didn't answer. "Check your purse," I said. She did. And found only a note. neatly handwritten by Na. Keys are not commitments. And then I added softly, the locks were changed this morning. The next morning, 7:13 a.m. My doorbell rang like a battering ram. Not a knock, a siege. I was already awake, sitting cross-legged on my couch with coffee and a digital copy of the cease-and-desist letter Na drafted. I opened the door camera feed on my phone. There they were. Mom on the porch, arms crossed. Carla on the sidewalk, suitcase in each hand. The triplets strapped into a triple stroller like they were launching a campaign. No hello. No shame. Just expectation. I didn't open the door. Mom texted the family group chat. Your brother has locked his sister, and her baby's out in the cold. 3 cousins reacted with angry face emojis. But before I could even type a word, Na dropped the hammer. She posted an image to the group, a scanned letter on firm letterhead addressed to Lorna and Carla, time-stamped and already sent by certified mail. You are not tenants. You do not have permission to reside at this address. Any attempt to enter is unlawful. Unauthorized use of financial information has been reported and will be prosecuted. She attached screenshots, Carla's text joking about changing my locks, her browser autofill showing my name on rental applications, and one glorious selfie she had posted caption, Home sweet home. In my living room. Aunt Teresa responded first. Lorna, this is too far. Uncle Joe chimed in. You can't just move into someone's house. My cousin Luke, the one who apparently had dibs on my office, left the group entirely. Outside, Mom banged on the door again. Carla shouted. We'll call the cops and say you're holding our stuff. I pressed the intercom. There is no stuff. I said. You returned the key. You have no lease. You have no right to be here. Mom's voice was cold steel. You're heartless. I sighed. I have a heart. It's just not for rent. Carla burst into tears. Real ones this time. You would let your nephews sleep outside? I will help them, I said. I will pay for diapers. I will call emergency shelters. I will drive you to legal aid. But you are not coming inside. Then came the last straw. My phone buzzed with a security alert. New device login attempt detected on your bank account. I stared at the screen. Then back at the stroller. Stop. I said into the mic. Carla's crying stopped instantly. She went flat. Her eyes lost the panic and turned icy. So, it's war. No, I said. It's a ceasefire, with rules. And with that, she turned, pushed the stroller down the sidewalk, and didn't look back. Mom stayed another minute. Then she left too. 10 minutes later, she posted on Facebook. Some people forget who rocked them as babies. I didn't reply. Na sent a single text. Step 3 ready? Want to proceed? I typed one word back. Yes. Step 3 was simple. Practical first, emotional later. By noon, Na had filed a fraud alert with my bank, locked down my credit, and flagged Carla's shady roommate lease, complete with a forged version of my signature that looked like it had been drawn by a nervous squirrel. Meanwhile, I was in full cleanup mode. I paid 2 weeks of daycare anonymously through the portal, just enough to keep the boys out of the crossfire. I sent a grocery store gift card that couldn't be exchanged for cash and forwarded Carla a list of subsidized housing programs. No cash. No access. Just systems. And limits. Then I blocked every merchant she'd ever used with my cards. And finally, I wrote the email. A family-wide bulletin. No cursing. No drama. Just cold, beautiful facts. Hi all. Yesterday a plate was thrown at me because I said no. The baby monitor recorded a conversation about changing my locks. Fraud has been reported. I will no longer house adults. I will not co-sign. I will not send cash. I will directly support the children, diapers, daycare, essentials only. Any attempts to involve my employer, my address, or my accounts will result in legal action. I love my nephews. I am not a wallet. Derek. Responses came in fast. Aunt Teresa. Proud of you. Cousin Maya. What do the boys need this week? Uncle Joe. I can store Carla's couch for a month. And then. Mom. You've shamed this family. I didn't reply. Na called just after dinner. Good news. Bank reversed the charges. And Best Value Auto is backing off. They admitted Carla gave them an unauthorized copy of your ID. Also, her landlord got our letter. He's now very sorry for the misunderstanding. She paused, then added, Want to hear something funny? I said yes. She sent me a PDF. It was a roommate agreement Carla had typed up, with my name sloppily added as the financial responsible party. My signature? A straight line. Like a kindergartner forging a permission slip. Check the metadata, I muttered. Already did, she said. She created the file at 1:22 a.m. on a laptop that still had your Wi-Fi password saved. I closed my eyes. I don't want this to end in court. Then keep holding the line, Na said. Rescue less. Observe more. That weekend, Mom tried a different tactic. She called my editor at the paper. Left a voicemail about my unstable behavior. My editor forwarded it to me with one sentence. You have the afternoon off. Take care of yourself. He's dealt with mayors, CEOs, and slumlords. A passive-aggressive mom with a grudge wasn't going to shake him. That night, Carla's landlord texted me. This time it was different. She's moving to a smaller unit. We gave her a discount. Just thought you'd want to know, you asked me to keep you in the loop last spring. I had. Good. The house was quiet again. I checked my bank app, no new charges. Nothing bleeding out. It felt like oxygen. Like finally I could breathe. Monday morning, I picked Carla up for her appointment with the nonprofit Housing Support Center. She didn't want to get in the car. She wanted to make a scene on the sidewalk, complete with crossed arms, shaking head, and muttering things like, "So you think you're better than us now?" I didn't argue. I just opened the back door and waited while the triplets started fussing. They were the real clock in every conversation. Once the snacks run out, the window closes. She finally slid into the seat with a bitter snort. Can't believe I'm doing this. You called a lawyer? On your own mother. I called a lawyer for myself, I said. Mom's free to hire her own. We rode in silence except for toddler babble and the occasional nose wipe. The nonprofit center was in a bland beige building that smelled like copier ink and old hand sanitizer. We sat across from a woman in a cardigan who looked more tired than judgmental. She didn't flinch when Carla rolled her eyes or gave one-word answers. When she asked, "Who has been your financial support for the past year?" Carla jerked her chin at me. Him. The egoist. The woman wrote it down like she was noting the weather. He's here, she said softly. Egoists don't usually show up. On the way home, Carla didn't talk. Not until I pulled into her driveway. Then, before she got out, she asked a question so quietly it barely made it past the dashboard hum. Do the boys have to call you Uncle Derek? Or can it just be Derek? I didn't smile. I didn't overthink it. Whatever they want, I said. She nodded once, barely. See you. That night my mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Then I sat on my kitchen floor and listened while eating a microwaved burrito. You made your point. I'm still angry. But the boys ate pasta tonight. Carla filled out forms. Someone dropped off a crib. You didn't come in and fix it. And somehow, it got fixed anyway. Long pause. Don't call me your mom if you're going to be cruel. She added automatically. Like a reflex. Then softer, almost swallowed by the static. Bring the boys to the park Saturday if you want. I saved the voicemail. Not for legal reasons. Just to remind myself that maybe, just maybe, something had shifted. She offered. Not demanded. That was new. Saturday at the park was almost normal. I brought bananas, apple slices, and the off-brand soccer ball I bought on sale at Target. Carla brought juice boxes, mismatched socks, and a blanket that had marker stains shaped like war crimes. The boys screamed, Derek! When they saw me, one of them tackled my knee like I owed him money. We didn't talk about money. We didn't talk about the house. We talked about shoes. Nap schedules. How one of them is apparently afraid of the moon now, and another insists on peeing only in the loud toilet at her building. At one point, Carla pointed to a squirrel and told the boys it was their cousin because it also hoarded snacks and screamed when surprised. That made all three collapse in giggles and I actually laughed, like real laughed. Later, she asked if I wanted to push them on the swings. I did. And as I gave each one a boost, I realized something. This is what I can carry. Not the rent. Not the utilities. Not her boyfriends, her decisions, or her debt. But this? 3 tiny giggling humans, flying through the air because I pushed? This I could do. That night, Na came over. She brought pie. I poured her a drink. You seem calmer, she said. I think I am. You froze your credit, changed your locks, updated your accounts. Your boundaries are now tighter than airport security. And yet you seem peaceful. Coincidence? Nope. She smiled. I like this version of you. I exhaled. I like not being broke and paranoid. That's a new hobby. She clinked her glass against mine. Boundaries are free, but man, they'll save you a fortune. I smiled. Then paused. What if it doesn't hold? I asked. What if they try again? Na leaned back on my couch, shoes off, already halfway through the pie crust. Then we play the same game. Quiet. Documented. Decisive. And if they come to the house? You call me. And if needed? We get a restraining order. I grimaced. You're not cruel. She added. You're just not willing to be consumed. I looked at the calendar pinned to my fridge. It had scribbles about deadlines and daycare caps and one word circled in red from last week. Enough. I'll keep showing up for the kids. I said. Then you're doing more than enough. She replied. I fell asleep that night with the windows open and my phone quiet. Not off. Not on high alert. Just quiet. That, more than anything, felt like a win. 2 months later, the family group chat was quieter than it had been in years. No guilt blasts. No passive-aggressive memes. No. Your cousin needs a place to stay. Bait wrapped in. Just for a week. Packaging. The last message was a photo of the triplets in Halloween costumes, a dinosaur, a pirate, and, for reasons unclear, a broccoli floret. I liked the photo. I didn't comment. That was the new dance. I could engage without being dragged. I could love without being looted. Mom and I had settled into careful conversation. We kept it on safe ground, the boys, recipes, the weather. Once she tried to say, "You should," and I interrupted gently with, "I won't." She hung up. She called back 3 days later. Said nothing about it. That was progress in our language. Carla was trying. Not transformed. Not reborn. But trying. She'd started seeing a case manager at the nonprofit. They helped her consolidate her debt. She moved into a smaller place. Took a part-time job cleaning offices overnight. It wasn't much, but she was paying her own rent. On time. Without calling me. One Friday night she texted. Carla, need help with groceries. Boys ate everything. Me, I'll order pickup for you. Send me a list. Carla, not money? Me, not money. Groceries. 5 minutes later, I had a list. Diapers, bananas, pasta, cheese, cough drops. Nothing fancy. Nothing I hadn't bought before. The only difference? This time, I didn't pay with resentment. I just helped. And when I clicked place order, it didn't feel like a test. It felt like a choice. Saturday morning, I met them at the park again. Carla brought a cooler with juice and egg salad. The boys ran straight at me, tackling me like it was their job. We played soccer until one of them face-planted, then sat under a tree and shared apples. She sat beside me, knees drawn up, hoodie zipped high. They're sleeping better, she said. New mattress. Good. Got it with my own card. I nodded. That's good. She hesitated. Then asked, Is the daycare fund still open? Yes, I said. But it's capped. She smirked. I figured. You probably have it taped on your fridge next to your grocery list. I laughed. I do, actually. Sharp it. Real dramatic. She looked at me and didn't say anything for a while. Then, I was awful. At Thanksgiving. At everything before it. I don't know how I thought it was okay to just invade your life. I didn't rush to soothe her. That was the old pattern. I let the silence stretch. Then I said, I don't need an apology for every bad decision. Just new decisions. She nodded. I'm trying. I can see that. She brushed crumbs off her jeans. You really changed the locks? I did. And you'd really press charges if I tried again? I turned and looked her in the eye. Yes. And that's not cruelty. That's clarity. She didn't argue. Later, she told the boys it was time to go. One of them pouted. The other two followed. They hugged me like they were trying to knock me over. I let them. Before she left, she asked, Can we do this again next week? Yeah, I said. We can. She pushed the stroller toward the bus stop and didn't look back. That night I sat on my porch. Watched the streetlights flicker on. My phone buzzed once. A new voicemail from Mom. Hi. I just wanted to say the pasta you told me to try turned out great. And Carla said she liked the park. The boys were happy. You were good with them. You always are. Maybe I didn't say thank you enough. Or ever. So, thank you? Also, pause, deep breath. I didn't call to ask for anything. Just wanted to say that. I saved the message. Not because I needed proof. Because it felt real. Here's what my life looks like now. The office in my home is still mine. I use it. I lock the door when I leave. The spare bedroom? For actual guests. People who call ahead. People who bring dessert. The triplets see me every other Saturday. They don't call me Uncle Derek. They just shout, Derek! Like I'm a playground. Which honestly feels better. Carla doesn't text daily anymore. But when she does, it's usually about the kids. Or a recipe. Or, once, a photo of a bill she paid in full with her own money. I still get tempted. To swoop in. To fix. To rescue. But then I look at the paper taped inside my cabinet. Daycare fund cap, $/month. No exceptions. It's not a threat. It's a boundary. A promise I made to myself. Mom still tries small guilt tests sometimes. Your cousin needs help with her brakes. I'm sure she does. I say. I hope she gets it. And I leave it there. I don't explain anymore. I don't rehearse conversations in the car. I don't check my account for surprise withdrawals. When I go to bed, the silence is intense. It's peaceful. And when my phone buzzes with some message like, "You owe us," I don't panic. I just breathe. And type the same 2 words every time. No thanks. That's not revenge. It's relief. And it's mine.